You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to a Black Friday edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, along with the Hawkeye Report podcast. Thank you guys for joining us live on YouTube. We're also up on X as well. And we have plenty to talk about because the Iowa Hawkeyes have once again beaten their rivals from Nebraska. And I put that in quotes. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Also, later in the show, we got more to get to when it comes to Illinois basketball, the state championship games in Illinois as well. But we're going to start because we got a hardworking guy in Lincoln, Nebraska by the name of Tom Kakert. Tommy, is it nice and climate controlled, obviously, in the press box? Everything's good there, right?
Yeah, in fact, I am sitting in the very chair that was occupied by one Mr. Patrick Angerer just hours ago, about an hour ago. He was sitting there.
That's gross. Does it smell like Doritos? Does it smell like Hardee's?
No, but
Does
oddly,
it smell like Hardee's?
Oddly, yeah. Yeah, it smells like a Hardee's sausage biscuit, I think. It is, oddly, he has four plastic forks that are sitting here, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know what's been going on in here.
Yeah, I think it's better to leave that to the imagination of the listeners and the viewers as well. It was an impressive afternoon in Memorial Stadium. Iowa beats Nebraska 40-16, the final score. It's their their 10th win in the last 11 years in the rivalry. That's really not a rivalry because it's not a rivalry unless the other team wins every once in a while. We'll get to that in a second. Your headlines from today's game: an 8th win for Iowa on the season. They're 8-4 to end the season. Your headlines when it comes to this year's Heroes game.
A couple. First, let's tip the cap to Aaron Graves and his wife. For those who don't know, Aaron became a dad yesterday, just about 24 hours ago. And I asked him after the game, I said, "What's your last 24 hours been like?" And he just smiled. Being a parent, we know what that's like. Welcoming a baby to the world, and he got emotional talking about what it was like, and because he and his wife, he's married, and they found out on Easter that they were having a baby boy, and they found out, and they weren't supposed to have the baby until later next month, later in December, more around Christmas.
Oh wow!
So the baby came about a month early.
Ooh.
And so it was, she had been in the hospital since Wednesday. So it was touch and go whether he was going to be able to play. You know, and then had the baby on Friday, got here to Lincoln about 10 o'clock last night, got to the hotel about 10:30. A very gracious donor to the football program provided private transportation for Aaron to get to Memorial Stadium, or to get to Lincoln. And he's flying back with the team, and he's anxious to go see Grayson, his new son.
3 p.m. yesterday, Tommy. Grayson Graves was born, and you got 2 kids. Yeah. I have 4, and I don't. My other ones aren't listening, but it's that first one. That's your first one. It's a boy. And then also to throw on all of that, which probably means nothing to him now. He was a finalist for the Outland Trophy, and he found that out Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday.
That's Logan Jones.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Aaron Graves. You're exactly right. My fault. Yes. I'm getting confused. But So obviously a special day for Aaron Graves as well. And he played really well too, Tom. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah, he played great. I haven't even looked at his stats, but how about Rashad Godfrey come in there, get 9 tackles today? That's pretty cool. Aaron had 2 tackles, 1 pass broken up. He broke up a pass early in the game, so he is getting some well-deserved rest. He's up for the award he's up for is the William Campbell Award,
Yeah.
the one that Jack Campbell won.
Yeah.
And so he's got to go to Las Vegas for the College Football Hall of Fame banquet here in a couple of weeks. So he was worried about that too,
Jeez.
with his wife being pregnant. And, at least now he can travel without having to worry about his wife going into labor. But he's such a, I don't know if you call him like an old soul, but he's so much more mature than most guys his age.
He's like Logan Lee, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Logan Lee when it comes to that as well. Tommy, I saw some stuff on social media. You were probably in there, but he said he wasn't coming all the way to Nebraska to lose. He told his wife, I ain't going all the way there to lose. So I thought it was really cool that they ended up getting him there.
He told the lineman. He told his line. Hey, he told the other defensive lineman, "Hey, we're not going to let this happen. We're going to win this game."
Yeah,
my son's not going to come into the world seeing me lose.
I love it. Tom, if I would have told you that Iowa gave up a 70-yard touchdown, which they didn't, I know it was down at the 6-inch line and they ended up scoring, but that happening and then they don't cover a kick and they give away basically 3 points, I would have said man, this might have been a tough game. Iowa didn't play great early on, but you could kind of tell, in my opinion, that they were the better team and that they could move the football at will against Nebraska. What were your thoughts early on when they gave up that big rushing play? They get down early on, a few miscues that are uncharacteristic of an Iowa football team.
Yeah, they just not great tackling. Some good game plans from Nebraska, I thought, but Iowa just didn't tackle real well. They were struggling in that area, and that was something that was noted. And Emmett Johnson ended up with 200 yards rushing, 217 yards rushing,
average 7.5 a pop.
And they lost 40-16.
Yeah. With that being said, too, Tommy,
I don't know.
They were 9 of 24 passing for 69 yards. And if you take away that 70-yarder or whatever it was for Emmett Johnson, he still rushed for 142 without it, but 28 carries, 142. It wasn't like it was a little more workmanlike when you take that big play out. Obviously, you can't do that all the time as well. They still kicked the ball to Caden Weegan early on. That shocked the heck out of me. Like, why do people do this?
It's insanity that people keep kicking to him. I thought their punter did a nice job because all he did was kick it high and kick it short so they could just cover them, and so he couldn't return. And they were just like, yeah, we'll just take a 35-yard punt rather than giving up a 70-yard return from Caden Weegan. So, I thought Gronowski was really good today, just in just about all areas. I mean, he was only 9 of 16 for 166, but had that great escape artist move to get and got the ball down to DJ Voname. By the way, DJ Voname, how about that kid? 3 for 91. I think he leads them in receiving now. He's their leading receiver now as a tight end who was probably third string probably before the season, I would guess.
Yeah.
Third, fourth string. But he has come on. Reese Vanderzee with the catch of the day, that one-handed. Boy, he's just a guy that if you got single coverage, you can just throw it up to him, and he's going to bring it down, and he's going to make a play. So I thought he was terrific today. Nice little 2 catches for 12 yards. Sam Phillips had that one, the 112-yarder down to about the 1. Kamari, he still didn't get over 100 yards in a game, but he got in the end zone twice, think that's the first time he scored since the Indiana game, maybe. Scored twice, rushed for 93 yards. Gronowski had that really good 29-yard run off the quarterback draw on a third down play. So he just came up clutch. It was a solid day for him, throwing the football, making the, as I always say, he makes the trains run on time. He keeps them in rhythm, keeps making play, keep moving the chains, and that's what they want to do. And Drew Stevens, I remember like 2 years ago, Drew Stevens was struggling here. He got pulled out of the game, and he was solid kicking field goals. So just an overall, after that first drive from Nebraska, they didn't score another touchdown. It was all field goals.
Yeah, Tom, it was 13-10. Nebraska at one point, and Iowa outscored them 30-3 the rest of the way. And you look at Gronowski, you kind of talked about it. He just seems in control of this offense. And I know some Iowa fans, some fans in general, think it's boring or whatever it is, but nothing is more disheartening to a defense to not be able to stop them and watch the clock tick. And know that you can't do anything about it. Gronowski, 9 of 16, 166 through the air, 3 total touchdowns, 64 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Tom, he's the single season leader when it comes to rushing for an Iowa quarterback. There's been a few that's been pretty good at it, and that's an impressive thing for him to grab the last game of the year.
Yeah, it is. And found the end zone again too, which is crazy. He's the tush push is working for the Hawks too.
Did you hear what they were calling it on TV?
No.
So I can't think
of
of the color commentator, but
Ross Tucker.
Yes, Ross Tucker. And I hear him in a lot of stuff. I actually
really
like Ross
good.
Tucker. Yeah, he's really good.
He's really good.
And he was saying like I need something because it's not the tush push. I need something. He's like the Hawkeye heave, but that's more of a throw, it seems like, than a push. And so he said that fans got to him on social media and they're calling it the Gronowski Plowski is what they call it. So he kept on referring to it as the Gronowski Plowski. He loved it. He kept going with it as well. Tom, I want to talk to you about a pivotal moment of the game, a couple of them. Late first half, Iowa gets it back down or up 17-16, and it just felt like they were going to add points. And to me, it felt like they were going to add 7, that they weren't going to settle for 3. They rarely do get the ball to start the third quarter, Tom, because usually they want that ball first. So they have the chance to double dip and double up. They get that touchdown. I thought that last drive to cap off the first half and go up by 8, huge when it came to the big picture of this game. Let's talk about that drive as well. I'm sure you agree. That's some big time drive for the University of Iowa.
Yeah, that was, there's just about 3 minutes left, I think, in the half. I'm pulling up the drive chart here. Yeah, there was, it was 2:53 when they kicked off, and Iowa kind of went no huddle. The big play was Moulton getting that 34-yard run, his longest run of the year, I believe. And he got them down there, and then Gronowski kind of got him into the good position, and they got Phillips caught that 11-yard pass to get down by the goal line, and then Gronowski rushes it in. And I just thought that was so important because you can double up there coming out of halftime, the potential double up and go from, it was 17-16, and you can go up 2 scores if you get 2 touchdowns in that area. Iowa didn't do that, but they got the safety off of it to go up 2 scores, really, because they went, it was up to a 10-point lead. And Nebraska's offense they couldn't get anything going. They just couldn't. It was wild that they punted it, and twice the guy fumbled it, basically. He fumbled it twice on 2 different punts.
So, Tom, was there a lot of talk?
And I know the Nebraska people were pissed off about they thought it was targeting by Carson Shire. I don't know.
Here's how I'll answer that. In live time, did you think it was targeting?
No, I didn't even think about it until I saw the replay, and then I was like, "Ooh, okay, it might be
That's when you
something."
have to, in my opinion, if you slow down most football plays, you're going to find helmet to helmet contact, aren't you? Like if that
Yes,
big dumb animal's
it
roaming
wasn't like
around, how many times did he get hit in
he's
the
not
head by
here
another?
anymore.
Yeah, but
He's
that's
not here anymore.
but my point
He
is
left.
he's lazy.
I know.
But helmet to helmet contact happens a ton. It didn't look like he launched himself. It didn't look like he led with it. It was one guy's going one way, he's going this way. It looked like a great play, and then they kept slowing it down and slowing it down. In my opinion, and I'm not a big fan of referees these days, I think they made the right no call. I don't think it was that big a deal. Now, mind you, it's a big swing in the game, but
Yeah.
if this game ended up being a 10-point game or a 7-point game or a 3-point game, then maybe we're talking more about this. I know it was a swinging point in the game. I don't know if Nebraska was going to score again. Like, I just don't know if they could score again. So, yes, it was a big play. And then Iowa gets it back and they add to it again.
The difference in the game was Iowa could sustain drives, and they got into the red zone and they converted and scored touchdowns. Nebraska on 3 drives where they got into the red zone-ish area, they could only get field goals. That was the difference in the game. It was Iowa scored touchdowns, Nebraska kicked field goals, and that was a deciding factor. And that's credit to Mark Gronowski, Tim Lester, the offensive line. They were Kamari, everybody. They were making plays today. DJ Boname, Reese Vanderzee, and those guys are just. This was a team win, and the defense got better. I thought it helped that they expanded the margin, because then they couldn't just run Emmett Johnson off tackle, or outside zone, which was killing Iowa. And they were able to slow him down and make him less relevant. I mean, he could rip off 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-yard runs every once in a while, but okay, go ahead. You're down 20. What are you going to do?
Yeah, completely agree. Tom, Kirk Ferentz after the game seemed emotional several times. If you look onto the sideline, he did it again. And a stat that we're going to talk about a little more in a minute is it's the 8th victory for Iowa. They've at least had 8 victories, 10 straight years, which is crazy. You have a program like
there are 4 teams in the country who can say that, by the way.
And it's like Iowa, Alabama, Georgia, and who else?
Georgia. I can't remember.
I'm missing the other one. I'll figure it out. I'll look in a second. But Tom, to start this game, the broadcast talked about how if Nebraska could win this game, they would win 8 games, and it would prove that they're moving in the right direction and they'd be back. Like that was their calling point. And here you have on the flip side, you have Iowa fans that get frustrated that they only win 8 games. And I get it. You can be a little disappointed because I think this is a really good football team, and we could be talking about different things than a trip to Florida here in a little bit. But with that being said, isn't that the point here, is that Kirk Ferentz continues to just win a ton of games at the University of Iowa. What was he like after the game? I know he's always emotional. He really seems like he loves this group of seniors. And you saw that when they took out the starting offensive line and brought in backups, and you could see the tears in his eyes. What was he like after the game?
Yeah, he's emotional Kirk anymore, and he always says it's because he's old. He's always mentioned his dad was emotional too. His dad cried a lot when he was older. So it's just KF. I mean, that's just who he is. And I know I've had more questions this last week about is KF gonna hang it up? Is this his last regular season game, and is he gonna hang it up after the bowl game? I just don't get that sense. Maybe he will, but I think he's just, as he gets older, he's appreciating these things, these seasons, and working with these young people more and more and more, because he knows, well, this might not be the end. He's one step closer to the end.
Yeah.
He is.
Yep.
He's writing the final chapter. And I think there's an emotion to it because he knows it's coming to a close eventually. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but soon. It is. It's just that's how this works. And it's that emotional attachment to these guys because he does love working with these young people. And he even said in the post game, he goes, we haven't had any bad days with these guys. There's been some not great days, but there's been a lot of good days. And that just tells you everything you need to know. I mean, they're just he really has an attachment to some of these seniors too. The Aaron Graves, the Lojo, the Logan Jones, Perkett, those guys. I mean, he's got an affinity and an attachment to this team that's really kind of cool. And I think these years kind of started like in 22 with Jack Campbell. You remember how many times he would well up when Jack Campbell he'd be standing by the podium or something, and Jack Campbell would talk about Coach Ferentz and how much he loves him and everything. Kirk's over there just about frying his eyes out because he's got this guy talking about him. I even saw that video. Did you see that video the other day when Calf called Jack?
Yeah.
On the phone and did that video call with him. I thought they were both going to cry then.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was going to tear up talking to Jack just about getting the Ford Kinnick Award and how excited Jack was to see his head coach. I mean, it's pretty cool.
No, it's amazing cool stuff. Tom, you're in Nebraska, you're in Lincoln. What is it for them right now? Because I said it on social media, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. It's not a rivalry. I don't look and go, no. Oh, when does Iowa play Nebraska? Scott Docterman, and it's just math, but he's the one who brought it up, so I got to give him the credit. In the rivalry games for Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, they beat all three and outscored them 118-19. So basically nearly 100 points. This isn't a rivalry until they start winning football games. And they now have a head coach who's under contract for a long time. He was 5-7, 7-6, and 7-5 right now. Where are they at right now? And in my opinion, it ain't a rivalry until they start winning some football games.
That's exactly right. They've got and they put a lot into this. And they're a lot of complaining about, Iowa was wishing us Merry Christmas, and Iowa was doing this, and Iowa was doing that to us, and they wouldn't let us. They had armed guards on the middle of the field and all this other stuff. They did shake hands this year.
I saw that, which is nice.
They got that. They at least grew up and shook hands with the team they were going to battle with today. So it's just. It's you got to start winning if you want a rivalry. I said that a long time ago with one of my friends who covers Nebraska when Nebraska first came in the league and they were dominating this series. And I said, he goes, "What do you think of the rivalry?" And I said, "It's not a rivalry until Iowa starts winning."
Yeah. Well, they started.
And they started, and they just haven't stopped.
Yeah.
They haven't stopped. Yeah.
No, it's wild.
Can we talk? Can we wrap up football and talk basketball for like 2 minutes?
100%. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break, pay some bills, and then we'll come back. We'll talk bowl picture a little bit. And then Tom went from beautiful California to whatever the heck he's going to get ready to drive home through right now. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Tom Kakert live in Lincoln. You're watching OTA Black Friday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, It's Hungry Hobo, now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo and the Hawkeye Report podcast, a little simulcast after Iowa's victory. I always come to me first because I never know if Tom's paying attention, and then we're going to go right back to Tom Kakert. A couple things on the chat. Tommy, they say you're looking like you're getting ready to go to a sports bar to watch the end of your Bears game, wearing the blue and the orange, and they're winning right now. We'll talk more about that in a second.
They are.
And then also people giving you love about, traveling through all this kind of stuff. Tom, I want to get to basketball. You were in California in a second. Bowl picture wise, is it just, Tampa, and that should be where I was going?
Tampa. Yep. Tampa.
Well, look at you, so nonchalant. Yeah, Tampa.
Well, their choices are limited because they can't go to Orlando. They can't go to Nashville.
Yeah.
So it was either Tampa or Vegas, and the feeling was if Iowa won today, that they would go to Tampa. If they lost, they'd go to Vegas.
What does that game look like? Is it an SEC team?
I just hope it's not Tennessee again. Seen enough. How about this? How about Iowa, Texas?
Does Iowa
want
that? Sign me up. Let's go. I'm all on board.
So go see Arch.
Yeah.
Hawks against Arch.
So
Phil Parker against Arch.
It should be a fun matchup, regardless. It should be a marquee night. No, but the thing with all these bowl games, and we'll see what Iowa does, a couple things on Kirk. They talked during the game how he was already, starting tomorrow, he's going to start re-recruiting guys because that's the day and age of college football, is making sure he's got who's staying. And then did you hear the post game where Kirk's?
I heard he swore twice.
Yeah, he said, I ain't doing beep for tomorrow. And doubled down again. And he's like, sorry for the language, but I ain't doing it. Who would have thought that KF would curse on the radio before Pat Anger?
It's incredible.
The
betting odds on that were just fabulous. Fabulous betting odds.
No, I love it.
Who swears first? God bless Kirk.
It would have been plus.
He gives as the kids say, he gives 0 Fs, if you know what I mean.
That is what the kids say. By the way, your Bears are up 15 with 4 minutes to go. So
let's go. Best
Bear
team
down,
in football.
Chicago Bears. I picked them this week.
Best team in football.
They're playing really good football. They're running the football. We're not going to get into it. They're running the football.
Do you miss Ben Johnson?
Of course. But let's look at this real fast. I don't want to get off of this too much. They've got 2 guys over 100 yards rushing. DeAndre Swift 125 and Manange is 121. That's impressive. Yeah. And you know what he's going to do during the postseason or the offseason? He's going to get better running backs. You watch. I'm telling you. I've been right about Ben so far. He's going to. Everyone's going to think, wow, they run the football. It's awesome. And that's what he did in Detroit. And then he went and got new toys, named Jahmyr Gibbs and that stuff. You watch. He's going to upgrade. Anyways, focus. Iowa basketball. You were out in
Yeah,
Palm
that's
Springs.
quick.
One was really good, really impressive. The other game, they got the job done. News and notes. What did you take out of that trip to California?
Couple takeaways. One, the obvious one. I am Captain Obvious here, and that is that Bennett Sturts is really good, and how he goes, so go the Hawkeyes this year. And I thought the second game, playing 40 minutes back-to-back games, his legs probably got a little tired. And they were a little more physical with him. Grand Canyon was. I saw somebody post on the message board that Bryce Drew thinks he's figured out how to beat Iowa. And I was like, okay, whatever, dude.
Jeez.
Love Bryce, love Homer. Our guy Homer Drew, from back in the mid-con days.
Yeah, Valpo.
But, okay. Yeah. But whatever. I don't care. It's kind of silly. But Cooper Koch, I asked Ben after game one, I said, have you seen that version of Cooper Koch before? And he goes, no.
He liked
but he
it.
loved it. And Coop played great in both games.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's a big deal because Coop, could Coop be the second best player on that team? I think so. I think he can. I really do.
If not, he's a solid third punt guy. If not, he's a solid third guy, if anything.
Yeah. I also thought the last three halves of basketball, the second half of the first game and the whole game, the second game, Isaiah Howard was really good. I thought he had a rough first half in that first game. He just seemed a little, I don't want to say overwhelmed, just kind of, he just didn't look comfortable, wasn't shooting the ball well, wasn't defending all that great. Then they brought him in and he locked up AJ Stoer late and played really good defense against him. And second game, those shots down the stretch were just so big. If he can hit the three, because McCollum has said, Howie shot like 38% in the summer, and that he is, he's really worked on his shot, but he hadn't been shooting it real well. But if he can shoot it that well, and make like 3 of 5 or something like that in some games, that opens up the floor a little bit more for Iowa and for some of the other players. I thought Alvaro was okay. His lack of strength, I think, showed up a little bit sometimes against some of the bigger players, where he can't get to the rim. He had his first turnovers of the season in the second game. Just had a couple of mistakes there where he was a little casual with the basketball, but I still like what he's doing. But we'll find out a whole lot more about this Iowa team on Tuesday night in East Lansing, because Michigan State is playing pretty well.
They're different.
Beat North Carolina the other day.
Yeah.
They're a good team. I'll tell you what, Michigan though is scary. They were blowing people out in Vegas, by not just beating them, 30-point games out in Vegas.
And good teams.
Purdue,
good teams.
Yeah, beating Auburn and beating Gonzaga by 30.
Yeah.
And then when Purdue beat Texas Tech by 30 the other night. So there's some monsters in the Big Ten. So Iowa's got, they go 2-0. This next week they've got Michigan State on Tuesday, and then they host Maryland. So you're best, I think you're hopeful that you can go 1-1 next week, and then you go to Ames, and the Cyclones are playing well. They played well out in Vegas too, even without Taman Lipsey.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be a handful at Ames, where Cyclone players have never fouled anyone ever in that building. They've never committed a foul.
I love it. I love a little shot at the Cyclone fan base as you get ready to take off here. Real quick, if Iowa does lose to Michigan State, and it might not be pretty, I do have someone, a mutual friend of ours, that is predicting Iowa beats Michigan State on Tuesday. I'll just leave it at that. I talked to several people that, besides yourself, that was in California, and they're just blown away with the demeanor of the team, the way it's coached, the way Ben handles everything. I keep hearing that, and it's not like by mistake, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's just by happenstance. There's a reason everybody's telling me this.
Kids. They're great kids. I'll tell you, I'll share something with you. And I don't say this, and I'm not sharing this to pat myself on the back for going, or Tyler Tashman for being there too, but because I'm not saying that to just say, hey, we're really cool because we were out there covering this, but I had multiple Iowa basketball players who we talked to after the game say to us, we really appreciate you guys being here and covering these games. And being here covering the team. One of them was Bennett Sturtz, who doesn't have to do that. He's an All-American. And that just tells you everything you need to know about that young guy. Yeah. And I can count on one hand the number of times, and I've covered games all over the place, where I've had a player or players say that to us. And the coaches did too. They're like, we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for coming. It was like, wow, you just don't see that. You'll see that sometimes, you probably saw it at the high school level sometimes when you go out to some place where they say, hey, thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming to see our game. Yeah. College level, you just don't see it that often. Just don't.
And a lot of people complain that you're not there, but they don't have time to thank you when you actually go. You know what I mean? They're very quick to point out why weren't you there, but they don't take that extra effort to do that on the other side of things.
I'm just saying this just because I want people to understand what good young men these guys are. They are really, really good guys. So.
I was going to talk about it in the next segment, but I'll say real fast, not taking away from Iowa basketball, but Brock Harding, 19 points, 12 assists, 5 steals for TCU. So nice. And they beat Florida, a good Florida team, ranked 10th in the country. And they almost got Michigan too.
Yeah. And our tribal chief had 17-7 out in Vegas in his last game. I know he's been struggling, but Big O had a good game too. So
and I bring it up just because I just bring it up because yes, you're right about these guys, but the other guys were good guys too. But you're right. They were. You're right. They do take.
They still are.
When is the Maryland game?
Saturday.
Get out to Carver, Hawkeye. Right.
Yeah.
Get out to Carver. Hopefully the snow melts before then. What's your plan? Are you ready to rock and roll? How far of a trip is it home for you? Before Snowmageddon.
It's about 5 hours. So I got to get going because it's snowing here already. So
all right. Tommy, everybody is on the chat giving you props, and I give you props as well. And it looks like your Bears are going to win as well.
Thanks to everybody. Go Bears.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, Tommy, drive safe. I'll talk to you again real soon. See you, buddy.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, that is Tom Kakert joining us right here on a special Black Friday edition, a post-show edition, a post-game edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. I figured what a better way to hop on and do this was to, do it right now. And, I didn't do a show earlier, but a lot to talk about. We do. We're going to take another quick break. We got the Illinois basketball team to talk about. We got the Bears are about ready to wrap up with a huge victory on Black Friday in Philadelphia to get to 9-3. And then state football. There's games going on right now. And then also, there's no games tomorrow. They're postponing the 5A to 8A state championship games. We'll explain that and much more. You're watching OTA on Black Friday right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, where we will be right back.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need mobile party experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile party experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your mobile party experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on Black Friday. It's about ready to snow, and snow a lot around the state of Iowa. A little later show today, kind of mapping out the best time to do this with Iowa, Nebraska going on Black Friday, huge basketball game between Illinois and UConn. We're going to get to that in just a second. And also the Bears and Eagles, which is almost done. And the Bears look like they have done it, and looks like they have knocked off the Eagles. We'll get to that more in just a second. Also, state championship game going on in Bloomington, and some big news as, you know, the early schools, the lower class schools, I should say, 1A through 4A, not that they don't have class, are going right now. And then 5A through 8A is tomorrow, and that's been postponed. We'll get to more of that here in just a second. Trying to get Mitch Stoermer from View from the West to join us right now as well. The Illinois basketball team, producing and directing and hosting all the time. Illinois in the Big Apple today to take on UConn. And it was number 5 versus number 13. Illinois loses their second game in the last 3. 74-61 the final score, but UConn was up by as many as 17 a couple times in the second half, so not overly close when it comes to the actual final score of the game. Illinois was led by Kylan Boswell. He was really good, 25 points, 9 rebounds. Andre Stojakovic, I got it. Not good. And he's been really good lately. Off game for him, 3 points, 1 of 7 shooting. UConn did a great job on him. And Illinois, they played so many good teams so far this season. They got that signature victory over Texas Tech at the State Farm Center. They dropped a tough one to Alabama up at the UC. Now they lose at Madison Square Garden. Their next game is against Tennessee. 17th ranked Tennessee in Nashville coming up on December 6th. So no rest for the weary when it comes to those kind of things as well. So Illinois losing today by the final score, 74-61, the final in that one. Big Ten play starts for them soon at Ohio State on December 9th, and then Nebraska in Champaign coming up on December 15th or 13th, as well. We want to talk about some state championship football. And, you know, it's ever so often I say, like, I need somebody to talk high school football. And Greg Armstrong's never there anymore. But you know who he always is say his name and he appears. Mitch Stoermer from View from the West. You're in Bloomington right now, my friend, are you not?
Yeah, we're live right now. We got the Byron Tiger 3A game going on right behind us. I stepped outside the press box just to talk to you, Dazzo.
You're a good man. I don't know what's the bigger story, so I'll let you tell us. Is it the games going on now or the fact that there's no football there tomorrow? Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I'd say that's the bigger story of the day is the weather is affecting what's going to happen tomorrow. And so for the first time in IHSA history, they're going to postpone the 5A through 8A state championship games. A lot of chatter, a lot of rumors, but nothing set in stone. The IHSA official statement basically indicated that they were still working with ISU officials to figure out when they could play it. So if I had to guess, they're not going to move off of venue, but it might be a couple days, maybe even a week before they play the 5A to 8A state championships.
Is there any thought process to what's best? Is it best to wait another week and then you're getting into December and there's high school basketball, or is it they're not going to play on Sunday? And I don't think it's, I mean, traveling, I don't think would be great on Sunday either. And the main thing is the campus is closed. Is that the main reason for the postponement?
Yeah, yes, that is the main reason. And that was something that we heard that was maybe a conversation that started this morning between ISU officials and security and the IHSA, that they were looking at that as a possible scenario. So I would imagine that they've been logistically trying to figure this out all day while keeping an eye on the weather. And that's the most unpredictable part is, if they could move everything and then 2 inches of snow come into the they're making decisions based on the information that they have right now and doing what's best and what's safest for everybody. And that's the right call, obviously. We had to change our travel plans. We're leaving tonight as opposed to staying through the 4A game and maybe doing some live stuff afterwards. So, no, we're all coming home tonight. We're waiting to hear back what the official decision will be regarding those bigger schools.
Yeah, it is unprecedented. You don't hear about that. And I know they don't, and I don't think it's a Sunday thing as much as it's not going to be great tomorrow either when this storm, or Sunday, I should say, as that storm comes through. So as for the action on the field, hey, Mitch, no surprise, Lena Winslow is your 1A state champions. Their 7th championship in school history, the first one since 2022. And I say that as if it's been a long drought since their last one. They're always either playing in it or winning it. Aiden Wild, we've talked about him a lot on your show, View from the West, and a little bit on this one as well. 170 yards, 5 touchdowns. Kind of talk about Lena Winslow, and I don't want to say it was a coronation that we all expected, but we kind of saw this coming. A great program gets another state championship.
Yeah, one that we predicted that how this game, and we'll talk about maybe we'll talk about the 2A game too. I don't know, but kind of went the way that we expected it to, and it started early. A blocked punt set Lena Winslow up inside the 5 early on. They punched it in, and they were up 8-0, and it was off from there. So as you mentioned, Aiden Wild, an unbelievable season, fantastic game today, 5 touchdowns, 170 yards. Alex Schlichting, that was one of the keys to the game before the game when we talked about. I had said on NUIC Football with Kyle Kampmeyer's pregame show, I thought that if Lena Winslow could utilize Alex Schlichting to the outside, that they would probably find some success, and they certainly did. Schlichting had a great first half. I don't remember 120, 130 in the first half and a couple of scores, and the defense just played great the entire day. So yeah, it was a fantastic game for Lena Winslow, and congratulations to them on their 7th state championship.
In 2A, I know a lot of people here in our area hoping and wishing to see a local team or a Rock Ridge who had a great season. Wilmington, kind of that team we talked about, Mitch, most of the season. And another blowout victory. They win, I think, 42-6 over Maroa Forsyth. So you look at it, and the first 2 games combined score was 100-19. And I know a lot of people complained about the blowouts last year as well. Your thoughts on the 2A game in Wilmington? I think it was you that said to me, gosh, I think it was that said early in the year, if you think Newman's good when it comes to running the football, Wilmington's that on crack or something like that, or steroids. I don't want to say whatever it was, but they're really good, and they showed it again today.
Yeah, they really did. 400 yards rushing for Wilmington. And their first 5 touchdowns were scored by 5 different players. And I think that that's just what they've been doing all season to everybody they've played. Dazzle, here's the stat for you. They rushed for over 2,100 yards in the postseason alone. So in their 5 games, all were continuous clock. They rack up over 2,100 yards rushing in those 5 games on their way to a 4th state championship. So, yeah, another game that we kind of expected. I can't remember the exact stat, but I remember Wilmington outscores their opponents in the second quarter. Like, I don't even want to give you what the numbers were, but they were absurd. And today it was 28-0. So just a bread and butter type of game for Wilmington. And again, they get their 4th state championship. And I think it's 3 in the last 5 years for the Wildcats.
Byron playing right now. Hawkeye fans maybe still watching the show. Sean Constantine's son is one of their best players, if not the best player. Can you give us an update on that game?
Yeah, Byron has scored since we started this conversation. It is 22-21 now for Byron.
Oh, wow.
early on, just watching this game, Tolono Unity's passing attack is for real. Dane Einzenmenger, their quarterback, he's going to Central Missouri. As of right now, as I talk to you, he's 13-19 for 238 yards and 3 scores. Their receivers are really, really good. Caden Constantine's got 83 yards so far. They have scored on 2 passing touchdowns, which is very unlike of Byron. Andrew Talbert's 3 of 3 for 77 yards and 2 scores. Cole Aiken has both receiving touchdowns for Byron. Again, that's 22-21 with about 6 minutes left in the first half.
Before I let you go, I know you came down. Are you going back to the Quad Cities?
No, I'll be going back home in a while.
So you're going the right way, and you'll probably outrun the snow. Greg's got to be careful. Is Greg down there busting his butt in the freezing cold right now, shooting a game?
Let me tell you who the star of today is going to be. It's Casey Armstrong.
Yes.
He has shot incredible highlights today. So I don't know exactly who has been getting what, but boy, I know when Greg was up during the 2A game, editing the highlights from the 1A game, Casey was down watching Wilmington. He has some great shots. So that kid's got a tremendous future in the business.
Apple doesn't far fall from the tree, does it?
No, it doesn't. So, they're down on the sidelines right now. They're braving the cold. It's not as bad as it was last year, but yeah, they're down there catching all this high scoring game between Byron and Tolono Unity. So, yeah, it's been a great day so far, and we'll get out of here before the weather turns a little nastier.
Before I let you go, what's the view from the West plan now? I know you guys are trying some post stuff, and be smart because it is dicey. I know they can follow you guys on social media at View from West Pod, and get all the things you need there. But is there probably a recap later on? Is what we're kind of looking at?
There is a rumor, Dazzo, that we will go to Pub 2 here in Normal after the Byron game and might do a quick instant reacts while we're waiting for food. That was the plan, was to do something.
Yeah.
So from the hotel after the games, but we're all going to get on the road. So I would say I don't know. There could be an instant reacts tonight. Otherwise, we'll figure out the schedule and do a normal show and recap everything that we saw.
Are you guys staying for 4A?
No.
I was going to say there's no reason. Go get some food.
Yeah, no, we'll get post game and everything. We'll get the post game press conferences from 3A, and we'll wrap up and get out of here.
I love it. Well, I appreciate your time. Whenever I need you, did I spell your name right? I did, didn't I?
They did, and
okay.
I won't tell it on air, but I'll text you or show you something of a spelling error nature.
I love it.
From the state championships, but I'll send it to you in text. I don't
Thank
want to put
you
anybody
for doing
on
that. Hey, I appreciate you, my friend. Get out of here. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Dazzo.
That is Mitch Stoermer. Follow them. View from the West. And again, the big story for the Illinois State championships. Obviously, there's Lena Winslow in 1A, Wilmington in 2A, Byron in a great one right now. I think 4A is Rochester because they're always there. People complain about the private schools, which whatever, but Rochester's like, why do they get there every year? I digress. And then they playing Montini, so there you go on the other side of it. And then, of course, no games, 5A, 6A, 7A, 8A. They're trying to figure out when and where they will play those games. Trust me, they're not canceled. They're not going to not have state champions, but they got to figure that out. And it's basketball season, so a lot of these kids got to get to playing basketball and those kind of things as well. So we'll kind of see what happens with that as well. And Bears fans, it's official. It's final. The Bears beat the Eagles 24-15. They are now in sole possession still of first place, and that is their signature victory. And I picked it. I did. And here's the thing with the Bears. I'm right and wrong with them. I don't think I've been critical of how good they are, so I admit that. But I told people when Ben Johnson started, they want to run the football. Everybody was just like, oh, Ben and Caleb, it's going to be amazing. Caleb wasn't good today. I mean, he was 17 of 36 for 154 yards and a touchdown and an interception. He wasn't good. Under 50% passing. Tough day out there. I know it was windy and all that kind of stuff. Not bashing on him. But they went there and they ran the ball 40 times. 47 times for 281 yards. They nearly ran for 300 yards. And I'm telling you right now, I just told Tommy earlier, the Bears will run the football. And then this offseason, Ben Johnson will say, I want better backs. He did the same thing in Detroit. Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, and they ran the football, and they almost made the postseason, and they had a good running game. And he said, I want Jahmyr Gibbs, I want David Montgomery, and he upgraded. That's what he will do. Mark my word, I'm going to be right on that as well. So the Bears win. Rough Thanksgiving for my Lions. It's just not the same this year. And I know it's Ben, and I get that. Frank Ragnow is coming back, which I think is a big deal. But this, and we've seen it with Bears games, and they've been against lesser teams until now. But the NFL simply comes down to making plays, and the Lions haven't made plays, and the other teams that have been playing have. So the Bears 9-3, Packers 8-3-1, Lions 7-5, and they're gonna have to catch, like, I think the Lions are gonna have to root for the Bears against the Niners later this year, maybe, and then obviously go to Soldier Field and win as well. So a big victory for the Chicago Bears. We'll talk more about it on Monday on the show here as well. So I'm trying to make sure I got everything involved in here as we get done with a shorter Black Friday, but that's a lot of fun to have Tom Kakert from Nebraska talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes and getting that victory, and then obviously on the other side of things, down in Bloomington, Mitch Stoermer talking state championship football. That's a good Friday here on OTA. We're going to take one more quick break, and we'll be back to wrap things up right after this. You're watching Off the Air on a Black Friday right here in the Quad Cities, and the snow is coming. We'll be right back.
Relationships, including the influence of... Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to OTA on Black Friday here in the Quad Cities. The snow is officially coming. We're looking at anywhere between 6 and 10 or 12 inches. You know, I don't know. I used to know everything. Friends would text me, what's the weather? Because, you know, I sat and did a newscast where you heard about the weather like 17 times during the show. So I don't know for sure, but I know it's going to get bad out there. So everyone be safe. Hopefully you got out and did your Black Friday shopping that you needed to. You watched some good sports today, and then just, you know, hunker in and watch a bunch of good sports tomorrow as well. Ohio State, Michigan, all of those kind of things. A full day of NFL football on Sunday. But it was a busy day, and hopefully you got out there and had some fun. We got a Christmas tree. I got to finish up the my last Hawkeye tailgate show of the year at Big Grove Brewery this morning, so I didn't get to go pick out the Christmas tree with the kids, but they went up to Fulton, Illinois, got one, they came back, so it's down there. We're ready to decorate. Should be a great evening, and then, you know, just be safe, stay inside, and get ready for the week that is ahead. Coming up next week, we'll have a lot to get to. Chad Leistigo is going to be on the show next week. Pat Anger will be on the show. Jess Settles will join us next week. We got a lot of things to look forward to as it's such a crazy, busy time of the year. So I want to thank Tom Kakert from Lincoln, Nebraska for joining us. I got to get him this show so he can put up on his side of things and get on the road and be safe. And I also want to thank Mitch Stoermer from View from the West for joining us as well. and letting us know about the state championships. There's 2 state champions right now. A third playing game is playing right now. 4A game coming up later. No games tomorrow. For the first time ever, they've been canceled, postponed, I should say, because of the weather. And we'll let you know when they get reestablished. We'll talk to the guys from View from the West on Monday, I'm sure, as well, kind of recapping everything they've done as well. So thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and continue to have a great, blessed Thanksgiving weekend. And we'll check with everybody coming up on Monday.